Here we are, Fat Girl Gardening Part 2. It's been pretty rainy and pretty windy and pretty nasty for the last few days since, that first video came out. So I've been doing little bits of the time when the weather's been cooperative. And today it's actually been fairly nice, and I'm trying to get everything finished up so that I can put vegetables and flowers and all in tomorrow. Get it in, be sliding in just under the end of April deadline there, because that's when most of this stuff has to be planted, is by the end of April, to be able to get a decent crop. So that's what I'm doing. I will show you guys how things are looking. Here we go. Okay, so here what we got here. What I am doing is what's called lasagna gardening, where the very base of your beds are cardboard. Then you put down a layer of hay, you put down a layer of peat moss. Excuse me, I'm sweating, so I'm trying to wipe my face here. You put down a layer of manure, then you put down a layer of potting soil like that right there, and then you do it all over again. Another layer of hay, another layer of peat, another layer of manure. And I am finishing up bed 3 of 4, where I have to throw the topsoil on. I actually ran out in the middle of everything, so I had to go today and get some more topsoil because I underestimated exactly how much I needed. But we are making progress, and I will be getting it done today. The only problem is that I get to the first 4 part in this, and I get to the topsoil section, and I am completely out of hay. So I'm gonna have to go get some more of that so that I can continue on. But I will be getting all this stuff situated today, because again, I am bound and determined, hell or high water, I am getting plants down tomorrow. No questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts. So that's what I got there. So when I say I got potting soil, I really wasn't playing about it. And this is after what I haven't used yet. The entire back of the truck was loaded up. It was over the top. And I was riding on the axles on the way back to the house. There was quite a bit of potting soil. So the fact that I'm back below the toolbox is showing that I'm making progress. On one of the days when it was like super windy, that I couldn't actually get anything done with the soil or anything because of the wind, it was kicking shit in my eyes and everything, I opted instead to redo my walkway. This was a plain asphalt little walkway. It was narrow, probably about a foot wide, and it was all broke up and uneven, and it was a hot mess. So I took the little plastic edging there, put that down, secured it real good, and sanded it and evened it out real good, and then stacked these 20 by 20 pavers like this, and then filled in the gaps with the extra stone that I had laid over from putting the garden together. Apparently my math was not mathing when I sat down and did the figures up for my garden, because I ended up with like 15 more bags than I actually needed. But in the long run, I won out on that. Okay, everybody, Fat Girl Gardening Part 2, end of the day, and I am done. Praise the Lord. Okay, so I'll just kind of give you guys a once over, kind of give you the high points of what I've put down and where I got them from, and let me show you. Okay, bed 1 of 4. Right here I've got a single strawberry plant. I didn't want to go crazy since it's just me, and I've never actually grown strawberries, so I figured better to do one and lose the money on one than to go crazy. I've got some celosas, which I thought were super cute. I found those at Walmart, and they were only $1.50, which was really surprising, because if you look at them, they're really beautiful. The colors just pop, and they were marked down, so I just went ahead. Then I've got some snapdragons, just for some color, for pollinator attraction. Then we've got bell peppers, a red, a yellow, a green, and then we've got some oregano on either side, and then I've got my cucumbers in the middle with their trellis, so that as they get some height and some length, I can kind of clip them up so that I don't end up losing any fruit. Okay, bed to. And mind you, I know some of these do look pitiful. This is zucchini and squash in the middle here. I've got catnip on the outsides. I've got marigolds. Further back, we've got, let's see, I've got 2 eggplants, one here, one there, marigolds in the middle, sweet basil on either side, and then 2 tomato plants. And the ones that I got were supposed to get pretty big, so I just went ahead and trellised them. They did already have a little bit of length on them, so I went ahead and clipped them so to give them some support because they were already leaning. Right here I have got lavender. I found this humongous celosa plant at Lowe's for $10, and it's got, I don't know how many individual celosas in it. Like, I know there's one right there, and there's one right there, but look at how beautiful. Now this one I'm a little upset about. I'm hoping that me getting these babies transplanted will save them. But I've got a daisy here, and they had big beautiful blooms on them, but they look like they might be dying. I'm hoping that I might can salvage them. If not, I'm going to yank them and find something else to put in their place. But I'm hoping that getting them out of the pot, because see, there's a little tiny daisy right there that hasn't even really started to do anything yet. I'm hoping that I can salvage it, that one and the other one, because the other one, they both looked, I mean, the colors are so beautiful, and they were so, the flowers were originally so huge when I found them that they were just starting to lean over, and I was kind of hoping maybe we could save them. We've got these, and I cannot think of the name of them right now, but I have 2 here. I have 2 here and 2 there. Then I've got these guys, and they don't have, their flowers have closed up for the time being, probably because they're in a little bit of shock from being transferred. But they have these bright yellow and orange flowers. Beautiful. Over there, I have got those. I cannot think of the name of them at the moment, but those came in a 4-pack, so I used them as space filler. Here I got a little hibiscus, a single hibiscus. I found it at Walmart. As you can see, the flower is closed up. It does look a little pitiful, but again, I'm kind of hoping to salvage it. I didn't want the poor things to dry up and die, you know. I figured better for me to spend a little bit of money on them and try to salvage them than for them to die off and nobody appreciate them. But there's already bud there and bud there. I've got rosemary and thyme there. Then I got this petunias. This petunia is another one that I rescued. It does look a little pitiful in the middle. Everything is kind of tilting out, as you can see. It was in a bucket that was kind of too small for it. That's the reason why it kind of opened up in the middle. The flowers are really beautiful. The colors will probably, hopefully, attract some pollinators, which was kind of what I was hoping for. But we're going to see how it goes. In the middle, over here, single planting. This is a butterfly bush, and the color is what got me. But it's supposed to get really huge, so it's right here in the very middle by itself. So that's what I got. Okay, so I took you guys out there to show those to you because I had to water them. It's been rather hot today, and every one of those are full sun plants, but I wanted to make sure that they didn't get dried out or anything, especially since I just transplanted them this morning. Like I said, I'm kind of hoping that some of the ones that started off pitiful are going to take a turn, and that having them in something other than a little 4-ounce pot that's about this big, hopefully giving them more room and better fertilized soil and more vitamin-rich soil is actually going to help them to bounce back and to hopefully prosper and get big and beautiful, and that's what I'm hoping for. But we'll have to see. It's actually not been a terrible day. The sun kind of sapped all my energy out of me. But I'm glad it's done. we're just gonna kind of play it by ear and hope for the best and keep making sure that it stays watered and it gets everything that it needs, and hopefully I'll get some fruits and some veggies and some flowers out of it. So now we're gonna get down to I did not mean to do that. Okay. So now that I have bathed, and I feel a little more human, I'm going to hit y'all with some quick updates, and then we're going to just get down to the nitty gritty. Told you guys that I was on a weight loss journey, and I'm still on that road. My medication that the doctor gave me to help boost my metabolism, that is done. That ended 2 weeks ago. And I am still doing intermittent fasting, which apparently I kind of feel like it did what I needed it to do. I am still really not hungry. I mean, I have yet to have dinner, but like so far today, I had a banana. I had what do you call it? Protein bar. And then I had a handful of Dorito Ranch popcorn. If you guys have not tried that yet, it is amazing. They have them at Sam's. So I would rather do that instead of the regular chips because of all the carbs. So there's that. I weighed yesterday when I went to go get my fingerprinting done, and I was at 220, which is where I was at in high school, and even then I was a big girl in high school. I wore a size 20. That was well before I had the gastric bypass done. But the upswing is that I am down from an extra large where I started out. Remember I told you guys that I blew up 2 sizes. I am down to a large. They fit appropriately, so I am making progress in the right direction. So at 220, that gives me something like 30 pounds to go till I'm in that 185, 190 range that I had set for myself. So moving in the right direction. I had a job interview day before yesterday. And went in for a part-time nursing job. Excuse me. And my interview took all of 10 minutes. The only real questions that the DON had for me, a super sweet lady, by the way, is what shifts I would be interested in working, how many hours a week would I be interested in working, and did I have any preference on particular days? Because apparently they got so hard up for nurses that they instituted a Baylor program, and what a Baylor program is you do 2 16s and an 8. Either 8 before and 2 16s, or 2 16s and an 8 after the 16s. Either way, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, however it's sliced. But you get a full 40-hour week in 3 days, which a lot of people do. It's a great way to knock out, your time and not have to really have it spread out through the week, especially since they run 8-hour shifts. I let her know that I was not interested in full-time, but I would be willing to work upwards of 3 shifts a week, which for them is full-time, depending upon the week. Which she was totally fine with. The way I figure it, part-time help is better than no help at all. She didn't really have any questions about my background. My resume pretty much spoke for itself. She saw long-term care experience, and she was sold. I did give her a synopsis of my resume and all the various areas that I've worked in, and the different things that I've learned from each, so, and how they would be beneficial in a long-term care environment. And she was happy with it. She actually stopped me in the middle and said, I see you have 3 years as a director of nurses. Are you sure you wouldn't be happier in a middle management position, like a unit manager? And I kind of just stopped and kind of cocked my head at her, and I said, well, you know, thank you, but no, not right now. No, thank you. And she just kind of laughed, and I said that like that, but in my head I was like, not no, but hell no. I've done that before. Anything that comes with being in management usually entails psychotic amounts of hours, being on call, you know, going to work and doing your regular hours, and then getting shanghaied with, hey, we have a call in and you're going to have to fill in those hours because it's your turn or whatever. And I did that. I've got the t-shirt. I have no interest in doing it again. So, I mean, I appreciate that, you know, my resume makes me look well enough that I could pull off a unit manager's job, but no, I got no interest in it right now. Maybe later. We'll see. I went yesterday and did my fingerprinting, and that took all of 5 seconds. And I was hella nervous because the man doing my fingerprinting was a very nice looking man named Jose. God bless him. He was only like 5'6", but he was so cute and so sweet, and he smelled amazing. As you probably are gonna be like, what? It's been a little bit, y'all. I kind of swore off men for a little while. Although now that I am in a place where I don't know every single person that I come across, that might have to change at the very minimum to break the drought, as it were. But we'll see on that too, because, you know, ideally my initial focus when I moved over here was to work on myself and to yes, Mama, what you doing? I don't know if you guys heard her. She's talking to me. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Bringing somebody in the midst of a journey to try to, you know, better yourself and better, you know, every aspect of your life can make things a little complicated, and I've never really been the type to be down for complicated, so I guess we'll play that by ear. The way I look at it is, if I meet somebody and I meet them organically, then cool, but I don't think I want to try to force it with like online dating and stuff like that, because there are too many crazy people online. You know, there are too many stories and stuff like that. And that would be my luck. I have often said before that, you know, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. And, you know, kind of feels like that sort of thing's tempting fate, as it were. I've applied for several other jobs while I'm waiting on my background check to come back. Hey, Mama, look at the baby. I know you guys can't see her. She's up here on top of my my dresser. But she's sitting here looking at me. So I applied for several other jobs. They're all within like a 10-minute drive radius, which is amazing. And then there were several that I applied to that made very, very good money, which I'm actually willing to have more than one job, so that, you know, if hours fall short at one place, I can pick up hours elsewhere to fill in. And one of the jobs that I filled out for was a agency nurse, which moves you from place to place, which is awesome. You don't get involved in the personal drama and stuff amidst the staff, you know. You just kind of go in and do what you got to do, clock in, do your job, clock out, which is really kind of where I'm at right now. I have no interest in getting overly invested in other people's crap. Hi, I see her. She's a sweet lady. Hi, Mama. You're such a good girl. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk. You not gonna let me talk? You silly thing. You silly lady. I've already heard back from one of them wanting to set up an interview. I got a call tomorrow on that. I've got to upload documentation, my license, and all that other great and wonderful stuff, so that way they can go through and verify. So ideally, what it's going to come down to is whatever they can offer me, the hours and the money will most likely be the one that gets me. I mean, for those of y'all out there that are not entirely sure where your path is leading you, if you want to make decent money and you want to be able to help people in the process, nursing is the jam. But you've got to be able to have a tough skin. You got to be able to roll with the punches when things go wrong. You got to be detail oriented, because not only are you there to take care of the patient and protect them, but you are also there to protect yourself. So, all that being said, that's where I'm at with that. I'm not in any godforsaken hurry. Realistically, I mean, I'm okay on money. As much as I worked over the last 2 years, I'm all set in that department, so I'm not really panicked or anything. It would be nice to have something to do to get me out of the house a little bit, you know. I've been here since the end of the very last day, like the 30th of March, and I'm getting a little stir crazy. It's been almost a month. So, I mean, there's only so much walking around the store you can do before it gets old. I'm going to the gym before it gets old. So there's all that. Now, I am still going through this house though here, and organizing and cleaning up and putting stuff away, and getting everything, like hanging up pictures and stuff like that. As soon as I get that done, I'll give you guys a walkthrough. You know, I didn't really give you much of one on the other house, other than the little bit of video that I showed you guys when I was waiting for the cats to get drowsy. But I like this place a lot, this new place a lot better. Definitely a cute little house, and I think you guys will think so too. So that's what I've got on updates. Now on to the main topic that I'm sure everybody is kind of like more interested than all the other crap I've shown you so far. This whole Gorl World cannibalism foolishness that is going on here. To surmise it, ideally, there are people that are pushing the parasocial connections too far. There are people that are taking their level of dislike or like for a particular creator, and they are literally trying to die on hills that are not necessary to die on, because nothing you say to somebody online is really going to mean anything in the long run, or ideally. I say this as someone who watches a variety of reaction channels in Gorl World, and I like them all individually for different reasons, and I dislike each of them at the same time for different reasons. They each have their positive and negative to me. But I say that to say that I have no individual alliance to each one, and that's what I don't seem to have any capability of wrapping my mind around. There seems to be almost like this Game of Thrones, Middle Earth bullshit going on, where each individual reactor has their own little camp with their little moat dug around them, and then they're having like these battles in between over stuff that doesn't affect them at all. And it's gotten to the point where the attacks have gotten, and the things being said are personal. And the crazy thing about that to me is that is Chantal behavior. How are we going to condemn someone like Chantal who uses their audience as a weapon and a sword against the people that she feels has wronged her, when we as a group carry that behavior out toward each other? And I ask that question because that's something that I don't think that a lot of people are thinking about. Because like I see a lot of, oh, she's turned into a cow. She's turned into a cow. Cow behavior, cow behavior, cow behavior. But the people that are saying these words, that are calling reaction channel personalities cows, are exhibiting the exact same kind of behavior that they are condemning. I mean, I'm going to say this. I mean, there is some of it that ideally needs to be let go. I mean, even the shit that has been taken offline, the more attention you give it, the worse it's going to get. It's going to continue to be fed. It is the equivalent of Greek fire. For anybody not steeped in that, back in the day, during the era of knights and kings and all that other stuff, Greek fire was a particular concoction that, of course, it was fire. They would launch it, it would explode, fire would commence, and what would happen? The natural response would be to throw water on it, which would produce a chemical reaction that would generate more fire. And that is ultimately what is happening in our particular Gorl World instances, where feeling the need to argue your position with someone when you feel their information is incorrect, when you feel that person is incorrect, all that does is throw water on top of Greek fire and creates more flame. In order for things to die, you cut off its fuel supply. You don't feed into it. You stop talking about it. And there have been many, many times where people have tried to get into arguments with me online, and my exact response is, and will always be, you might be right. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying they might be. But all they heard is, you're right. And usually, 9 times out of 10, they stop the conversation themselves. And that's the way that I handle situations like that. I'm not about to get into petty drama with people who have zero effect on my life. I mean, everybody has heard the 3 F's. If you're not feeding, finance, or fucking me, then you have zero bearing in my life. But with these YouTube creators, these people are financing your life to an extent, but that still does not make you beholden to them. Somebody like me, I don't really have any kind of connection in that regard, because this is just a hobby for me. Even if it gets monetized along the way, which is going to take forever, because it isn't like there are that many people watching, and it isn't like there are that many people who are all that interested in my life. I mean, I'm just an average person, But even then, later on down the road, I'm not going to be like a Yaba or a FFG or a Charlie. I'm not going to be pulling those kinds of numbers. And the main reason why is because I don't feel the need to dog people out and call them bald-headed bigot and, stuff like that. I mean, which, by the way, is funny to me, but it is what it is. Nobody is going to want to hear a rational response. Nobody's going to want to hear that well thought out They want the dog walking is what they want. They want the drag, and I'm capable of doing that, but I just don't really have a taste for it. Not anymore. Going back to the whole crossing the parasocial connection line, creating connections with these creators offline and then outing their every single conversation or thing you felt they've done wrong over the course of that time frame, when in the moment you had nothing to say about it and you went along with it. And then it goes back to that Greek fire thing. If a creator said that I'm a liar and that I stole money from them, and then I put out a clip that said that I never took any money from them, and there's proof of it, I'd put it out, I'd leave it alone. It wouldn't matter how many videos that person made. They could say whatever they want. Now, I mean, I get that there are people in the community like Jessica Messica who that is kind of her forte. She does get into interpersonal interaction with these folks and collects information on them and reveals them for who they are. But, I mean, ideally, based on what I've seen of her, I mean, she tends to do that with people who exhibit behaviors before they're actually outed, that they show behaviors out in the open. They're just not brilliant neon flashing signs that there's problems. But this whole, I've created a channel just so I can out this person, and they promised me XYZ, and they told me we were together, and then they lied to me, and I found out they cheated on me. Take Monty and every woman that he has had interpersonal contact with, not on YouTube streams. I mean, I don't know Monty, and more power to the dude to do what he wants to do, but he is not the sole party involved in this. Especially as time goes on. You have all these people who are seeing the varying instances where he has continued to establish connections with various women. Stop contacting the man. It's just that simple. I mean, I have reached out to Monty, I think, one time before, and it was to ask about a video editor, and never got an answer, which is fine, because I ended up getting an answer from somebody else, you know, who's in the game, who not Gorl World related, that could point me in the right direction. My little brother, actually, he went to film school, so he was actually able to give me a recommendation, and that's what I went with. And because he knows his stuff. That's one of the many things he's gone to school for. He's a very smart kid. But have I contacted him other than that? Absolutely not. Would I? Absolutely not. I have nothing to say to him. There would be no desire to talk to him, honestly. I mean, I don't really see a need. But then too, you know, I have enough self-respect though too, that I would not be the type to fawn over the attention of somebody that I don't know and doesn't have any relevant standing in my life. So there's that. I mean, let's be realistic here. These people are not your friends. They may like you. They may enjoy conversations with you. I mean, that's true. I mean, there's whole conversations that go on in these varying broadcasters discords or whatever, where you get to have sort of semi-intimate discussions with people, and they may like you, but in the grand scheme of things, you are not their friend. And again, this is Chantal behavior, and this is Amber behavior too. I mean, they make you feel like you have some sort of relevance on your end, when on their end, they are simply doing what they know to do. There's got to be some disconnect. We are all grown people. The stone slinging has got to stop, because there is no one in this particular avenue of YouTube or the great wide world in general who is not living in a glass house. The difference is that all of our glass is different. I have heard people make comments and seen comments on Twitter about how, well, you guess you got to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or yada, yada, yada to be in Gorl World. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. For those of you that are passing judgment on people who are alcoholics and drug addicts, that's fine. I'm used to that. But you should consider yourself lucky that that's a hell that you haven't had to experience. And you better hope to God that you don't ever have to, because it doesn't take much to end up there. All it takes is the right set of circumstances at the right time. And I can say that as somebody who has been around so many people who have lived extremely privileged lives, who've had good educations and good families and a stable home life and good jobs and loving wife and kids who cared for them, and still ended up alcoholics or drug addicts, who wanted nothing more for them than for them to get their lives straight and get healthy again. I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly, but nobody chooses to be an alcoholic or a drug addict. I mean, shit, I certainly didn't. If I knew then what I know now, I would have never took a drink, not one time in my life. But over the years and talking to therapists and psychologists and everything, I have found that it's based out of trauma. We are broken people. And us being broken, when we find sobriety and we finally put our lives back together, it is no different than a piece of china that you find that has been smoldered back together with gold. Not only is it more beautiful, but it's stronger in the long run because of how it's put back together. There are things that I've been through that would probably kill people, kill the average person, mentally, spiritually, physically. So, I mean, if you want to make the comment and pass judgment upon that sort of thing, knock yourself out. But I'm going to tell you, as somebody who's been there, cast your stones all you like. At the end of the day, your judgment of me means nothing. And that's the reason why I don't really give a lot of weight to the politics that goes on within this Gorl World Game of Thrones bullshit we got going on. This is entertainment for me. This is something that I can turn on and listen to while I'm cooking or I'm cleaning or I'm, working on projects or whatever. It ain't that damn serious. Why are we making it so serious? I don't understand that. And I ask that question because we have so much wrong in the world right now. And everybody is facing their own individual bullshit that they have the capability of controlling and changing and bettering themselves. But instead they're focused on shit about people across the world, across the country, on the opposite side of the state, or whatever the hell, that really genuinely, in the grand scheme of things, means nothing for the duration of their life. It is a blip. It is a momentary blip. Now, do I feel certain ways about certain things? Absolutely. Absolutely. Are there things that I am willing to pick up a sword and lance a motherfucker down with it? Absolutely. Children and animals all day long. Grown-ass people being stupid, not giving it any energy. Just not. You harm an innocent like a child or an animal, that's a whole nother story. That is a hill that I'm willing to die on. The fact is, though, the term pick your battles is absolutely 100% a weighted statement. When are we going to start picking our battles? I mean, we're supposed to be a bunch of grown folks. I just can't wrap my mind around it out there. Man, these YouTube and Twitter streets, man, they have just gotten straight up backwoods, side street foolishness is all it's turned into. And I don't know about some of y'all out there, but I ain't really got the energy for it anymore. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't know how y'all feel about it. If y'all want to weigh in on it, you can. I mean, I appreciate the conversation with anybody, that's out there. Some of you may disagree with me. Some of you might agree. Doesn't matter either way. We can still talk it out. But, I mean, talking rationally with each other versus slinging rocks and arrows and trying to gotcha somebody is not going to accomplish anything. I just know we got to make some changes, because when we as a community start to exhibit the same behaviors or worse behaviors, then the people that we are reacting to and watching, that doesn't say much for the community itself, does it? I don't know how y'all feel about it. Y'all have to tell me. Anyway, I'm fixing to go find me some dinner. And then after that, I'm going to bed, because being out in the sun on and off all day today has kind of sapped all the energy out of me. And I will, I guess, come through with updates again soon. Maybe give you guys something to see. Maybe we'll find us something to go out and get into. I do think like there's a store not far from here, like super cute store. I may take you guys to. It is like my favorite store in like the whole town, and it is everything. It is entirely beach related from end to end. It is so many cute things in there. So I think I may take you guys there, because I think it's great. I think it's great. I love it there. I love going in and just looking at all the different stuff. So maybe you guys will too. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. It was great checking in with you guys. I hope all is well on your end. And with that, I'm going to sign off. And I want you to remember what my mama always said. Dream. And dream big. Dreams are free. You want to get those things and do and have those things, you're going to have to hustle to get them. So you get out there and hustle. You have a good night, y'all. Bye.